Hey guys, Peter here to tell you about the latest from God is an Astronaut, The Beginning of the End, out July 15th on Napalm Records. The album has 11 tracks, 52 minutes in length, and this is a live in-studio 20-year anniversary edition. This comes as a celebration of their debut album. They are also an Irish post-rock band, for those of you that are not aware of where they're coming from. As far as this record is concerned, what can the fans expect? Well, you can expect some things to stay exactly the same, and you can expect some things to be very different. As far as the things that stay exactly the same, the structure is definitely that element that stays consistent. The exact same tracking listing, the exact same flow, the exact same dynamic that the original record had, you're going to find it on this album. And if there's things that you want to change, that's definitely not going to be one of them. You want to keep that as intact as possible, and that's exactly what they did, and I think that's the best way to honor that album, to celebrate that 20-year history, that 20-year anniversary. The things that change come two-folded. On one hand, this is live in studio. On the other hand, the songs have some musical additions to them, sound-wise and even length-wise, that change the dynamic, that change the DNA of the songs ever so slightly. From the live in studio point of view, I really enjoy this record, because when you have a live in studio album, you're removing the audience, but the quality of the sound almost feels that it's not quite a live recording, but at the same time it's not quite a studio recording. It's an in-between. It's a kind of pregnant experience, but one that reflects a much better sound experience all around, that still gives you that energy, that still gives you that organic vibe, that still makes the sound feel warmer, more connected, and allows the record to have a little bit of soul and a heartbeat within it. It's undeniable that this album has characteristics from a soundscape perspective that you can't get if you just record it in the studio and you take away from that live organic feel of just press and record and going with it. It's not the same animal, it's not the same beast, and this record feels very direct from that point of view, and that allows the listener to feel the experience of what would have been like to be in that room listening to that performance going forward from one song to the next. Once it comes to the actual songs themselves, you see that this record has additions to it. It has additions in the sound. The way the keyboards come across on this album, a lot stronger, a lot more powerful than on the debut record. The songs themselves have more time to them. They feel like they've grown through time, and this is a result of the overall idea behind this record. This album is not just about celebrating the past. This album is about celebrating the past, but also celebrating the growth and path that the band has taken all the way to where they are today. When you perform these songs, you're always going to find ways of adding something new to them, specifically in a live setting. And when you add those new elements to them, you discover that the songs perhaps feel better this way, that they have more life, that they have more energy, that they work better in a live setting, period. And as you start to move along, as you start to grow as an artist, you will also allow the songs to grow with you. This album represents that growth perfectly, in its sound, in its movement, in its structure, in its inner design, connecting the past with the present and showcasing you every single step that they've taken along the way. I really like the soundscape all around. I like the blend of that live in studio organic feel with a more warmth delivery that makes everything sound better, bigger, more powerful, and definitely with a much stronger and well-defined atmosphere behind it. All around, this is a great record to lose yourself within it. You press play and you don't give a crap about the time. The time becomes irrelevant. It just becomes about you, the sound, the music, the experience, how you feel, and how you navigate seamless throughout it. As far as my favorite songs on this record, I have to start with the end of the beginning, the opening track. It's a great opening track. It was a great opening track on the debut album. It's a great opening track here. It's a song that really represents the band. It represents their beginning. It represents this record. And on this format, it really showcases you the growth that they've had across 20 years of making music, 20 years of playing live shows. It's a great journey encompassed in one single song. And you can see that journey, you can see that movement through the sound, through the extension, through the growth that the track offers. Next, you have Ascend to Oblivion. Great sound on this track. The drums are so subtle, but at the same time, so impactful. and then the keys, they expand the life and the reach that this song has. Talk about opening up the box and creating parameters that are not necessarily well defined. That's exactly what the keys are doing on this track. They're just opening everything. They're just opening the book, opening the box, opening the doors, and letting this song breathe, expanding the track, giving it a lot more movement, giving a lot more growth, a lot more life, allowing the guitars to really navigate seamless throughout, but keeping everything somewhat connected and not allowing the song to lose track of itself while it grows, while it expands. Last but not least, Coda, a more guitar-centric track all around. The drums provide the perfect company to those guitars, but this is definitely a track that as a listener you gravitate towards the guitar sound and where that guitar sound is going and how it's going to take you to that final destination. The keys are still there, they still provide room for the track to breathe. They provide the necessary spaces for you to be able to understand better the ebbs and flows that the track have and better gravitate and connect with that guitar sound that's really your guiding light from start to finish. The vocal humming adds a new level because it's a new instrument. It doesn't feel like vocals at all. It's an atmospheric element that feels like an instrument, adding something to the way the overall texture, to the way the overall composition comes across, and therefore the atmosphere that the track puts forward. Magnificent song, filled with energy, filled with life, filled with movement. This is it. God is an Astronaut, the beginning of the end, the 20th anniversary release edition, out July 15th on Napalm Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles, on this record. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.